Victory Grill in Granite Park, Fresno. Don't miss Hungry, leave a champion. Victory tastes better here.
'Twas the holiday season at Total.
All right, 25 seconds.
All right.
4 gifts on their
Is my level good right now?
Easy to
Is that a little hot or is that good?
What you love for your love.
Check.
You're good.
Okay. I love that new intro. I don't know if you guys noticed. It's new for this year. Got a little Daft Punk fading out. Got the golden pipes announcing the show. So, yeah, if you are unfamiliar with the show, if you're just checking it out for the first time, or if you're a longtime listener, or if you catch the show whenever you can, thank you guys for listening. This is the Central Valley Sports Report. This is ESPN 1430 Fresno, and I'm your host, Paul Meadors. Live here at First String Sports, where I do my show every Saturday morning from 10 to 12. A little bit chilly today, huh? 48 degrees right now. We were very cold last night. Just put it that way. I'm going to get to this in just a second, but we are at Minarets High School. Yes, up there near the casino, one of the casinos. I don't want to give too much publicity, those casinos up there. But, yeah, it was a freezing cold game, but a ton of fun. Great experience last night. Again, to that in just a second. But I want to thank First String Sports on Blackstone Avenue in between Sierra and Herndon. You guys should know where the location is by now. This is the only store you can get your Letterman's jacket, and I do my show from the Letterman's jacket room off to the right-hand side. This is their best seller. These things are legit. I still got mine. It's in the closet. Fits pretty snug, even though I think I might be 15 pounds heavier than I was in high school, so not too big of a gap, but still fits very small on me. Now, you're not like the Chris Farley fat man in a little coat thing quite yet, but yeah, I still got it, still hanging right there. This is the only place where you can get it. Like I said, people are walking in right now, getting it all situated. We got Edison, Hoover, Bullard to my right, Kerman. We got Liberty, Madera to my left, Sanger, Clovis Schools behind me. So make sure you guys come in here, check it out. Obviously, all the sports equipment that you can need as well. Basketball season here. I'm looking at basketballs across the way. So First String Sports, been my day one sponsor. These guys are awesome over here. Also want to thank a few other sponsors. Clovis Stone Masonry and Landscape Supply. They specifically sponsor the show. They are located on Sunnyside, just south of Herndon. Also want to thank Elite Performance Center, Fresno County Superintendent of Schools, and, of course, Raw Farms, who sponsored our 1430 ESPN Student Athlete of the Week. All right, so a couple news and notes about the show before I get going into the great weekend that we've had so far of sports. I'm going to do 2 more shows and then take 2 weeks off for Christmas break. So 2 more. The 20th and 27th, I'll be off, and then I'll ramp it back up in the year 2026, which just sounds absolutely nuts to me, on January 3rd. So 2 more shows. Then two shows are not going to happen on Saturdays, and then coming back on January 3rd. All right, so Thanksgiving was just a few days ago. Oh, my gosh, 2 days ago, right? On Thursday. Had a good Thanksgiving. And if you were practicing on Thanksgiving, that means that you played in a championship football game last night. Well, I guess except for the Division I schools who had a bye, Bakersfield Christian and Central East. But, yeah, if you're practicing on Thanksgiving, you played last night, crowned 5 more champions. Yeah, Thanksgiving's the timing is perfect, right, for the Central Section championship games. And, you hear about these schools that get together. And the families, have Thanksgiving even out at the practice field. I saw that on a couple pictures on social media. But our Thanksgiving was good. We had 14 people we hosted. My wife did an amazing job with the turkey. My brother came into town, and we carved up that bird, and we just manhandled that thing, and that was a lot of fun. Peeled potatoes, so I played a part in it. So, yeah, we had a good time at Thanksgiving. Had all the good stuff, applesauce, ambrosia salad. Those are treats for me. So I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving, able to spend with family and friends. There's tons of football going on right now, like Ohio State Michigan game. I think Michigan was up 6-3. It's a big rivalry. NFL games on Thursday, and then the championship games in the Central section. Again, we know Central East and Bakersfield Christian won last week, but 5 champions were crowned. I can't forget Fresno Christian. Sorry, Fresno Christian in 8-man football. 5 more champions crowned last night, and there were just a few, obviously all Central section, but a few that were around here in the Valley. There's a game down in Bakersfield, Aurora Grande in Bakersfield. There's a game at Woodlake. There was our game that we did at Minarets. It's kind of spread out. So the game that we decided to broadcast on 1430 ESPN, Tanvir Singh was producing the show, joined Phil Benatti and I. It was a great experience for a lot of reasons. If you guys don't know where Minarets is, it's in O'Neill's, California, so just go down 41 and just a couple a short right and a left, and boom, you're there. You're there. The football field looked awesome. I had no idea what to expect. You walk in, there's like this, there's a food truck there. There were Christmas lights on it. There's a hot chocolate coffee truck. There's a Christmas tree. I posted this picture on X. It looked really cool. Christmas tree was all lit up right there when you walk in, and right away you knew it was going to be very foggy. We called it the Fog Bowl. The fog, it was just kind of flowing in and out a little bit. It'd clear up for just a second, and then it'd get a little bit foggier. The football field itself was sunken, and the stands on the home side, on the Minaret side, were there was just a little bit of stands, but then it was layered up, and there was turf down there, and people brought their lawn chairs. So you got lawn chairs, blankets, you got all that good stuff, right? Most people were wearing beanies. But it was a cool atmosphere. It was great. I loved it. And obviously the fog played a huge part in the ambiance, which was cool. Obviously we're on the Minaret side, and every once in a while we could see the other sideline, meaning Orosi. You could see the bleachers. But, it was, like I said, a great game. Congrats to Minarets for winning the football game. They won 21-14. It wasn't easy, though. They were up 14-0 at half. Torrin Wolf, the quarterback, threw a couple touchdown passes. He's a senior. Orosi comes back, does an onside pooch kick. Orosi was able to recover it, and their stud running back gave him the ball 4 straight times on his 4th carry. He was able to punch it in. Jason De La Cruz is his name. That kid's good. Scored 35 touchdowns. Had 2 more? No, 1. Just that 1. So 36 rushing touchdowns on the season for him. And, Orosi, they hung tough. Got to give them a lot of props. But it was Minaret's night, so congrats to Shannon Pulliam for winning the school's first Central Section championship. Tanvir's going to come on. We're going to break that game down a little bit more after the break, and a couple other fun topics that we're going to talk about. Again, congrats to Minarets. Great atmosphere. A lot of cowbells as well. I heard there was 1,200 people there. So, fun D6 championship game. All right, so let's move up a little bit. I'm going to give you guys the rest of the scores from last night. In D5, how about this? Bishop Union, the 4 seed, they come down, 5-hour trip, and beat Liberty Madera, who I didn't think was going to lose. I'll be honest. I didn't think Liberty Madera was going to be challenged that much. They were undefeated, but Bishop Union comes down. They have 550 kids. 5-hour drive, like I said. So they beat Liberty Madera, and then they got to go to the number 2 seed Woodlake, who had only lost 1 football game Did you guys see the final of this? Ended up being 69-21, Bishop Union. Just a massive rushing attack. Had 8 rushing touchdowns on the game, had a pick 6, 1 passing touchdown. But they were just playing at an absolute different level in that game. Yeah, I everything has just been clicking for those guys. They scored on the first play from scrimmage, a 70-yard touchdown run. So I don't know what Bishop Union did the last couple of weeks, man, but they definitely poured it on the Central Section D5. So those are the champions of D5, Bishop Union. Congrats to them. In D4, how about those Emmanuel Eagles? Playing at Templeton. Emmanuel's the 2 seed, Templeton's the 1 seed. Both teams were 12-0 going to that game. Templeton had a high-octane offense, putting up tons of points. This score was an absolute beatdown, 48-7. The game was 48-0. It was a running clock. Templeton got a late touchdown. Tyler Romo, this kid is incredible. One of the best two-way players in the state of California. Linebacker, running back. He was all over the field. Saw a couple of highlights of him intercepting passes, rushing for touchdowns. The O-line absolutely controlled the football game. The defense was outstanding once again. Emmanuel basically has put on a masterclass defensively this year. Now, a lot of people say, well, their non-league schedule wasn't great. It wasn't great if you go back and look. If you go back and look, too, their Avenel game, when they beat Avenel 14-0, Avenel was not good this year. The reason why that wasn't more is because the lights went out at the end of the first quarter, and they were never able to turn it back on, so they just literally called the game. So that's why the game was only 14-0. But these guys, they beat CVC 37-0. Remember, CVC only lost to Bakersfield by 3 in the playoffs. Then they beat McLean, only allowed 1 touchdown to McLean at home, beat them 21-7, and then shutting out Templeton until that last-second touchdown that was scored against some JV players. So Emmanuel, undefeated, one of the best teams in school history for sure. These guys got a good chance of winning a state championship. Absolutely. They play really solid fundamental defense. Their offensive line is great. They don't make mistakes, obviously, by looking at these scores. So, Emmanuel, congrats, D4. Might they be a D3 team next year? Kind of like going through what our D3 champion has gone through. Now, that's Kennedy, the Thunderbirds. They defeated Independence 49-13. So, what's up with these scores? Only 2 real competitive games in the Central Section last night, and 3 blowouts, 3 running clock games. So, yeah, congrats to Kennedy. It's their first title since 2022, the 5th overall in school history. Coach Mario Milan, since he took over the program, he's on the show last week. He's done an amazing job. He took over in 2018. So that offense from Kennedy is clicking. It's a wing T offense. Got a lot of seniors that play tough football. So congrats to Kennedy for winning the D3 championship in the Central Section. D2, how about this? This was the game of the night. Aurora Grande, the 4 seed, last week, went into the Tulare Union, defeated Tulare. A lot of people thought that wouldn't happen, including me. That wouldn't surprise me. Then they got to go down and play that storied Bakersfield program. Game went into overtime. That was a back-and-forth game. We were tracking it on Max Preps. Back and forth. Ended up going to overtime. Aurora Grande stopped Bakersfield, so they got the football. It got to 4th down, and they kicked like a 40-yard field goal to win it. So the 4 seed wins D2, Aurora Grande. Congrats to them in probably the game of the night last night. All right, so let's recap really quick the Central Section Football Championships. Division 1 AA, Central East, the top seed. Division 1A, Bakersfield Christian, the top seed. D2, 4-seed Aurora Grande. D3, 5-seeded Kennedy. D4, 2-seeded Emmanuel. D5, the 4-seeded Bishop Union. D6, number 1 Minarets. And number 1 seed in 8-man was Fresno Christian. So we had a 1-1, 4-5, 2, 4 1-1 seeds win championships. Not bad. Not bad. I'll take that. Yeah. You don't want all number 1 seeds winning the thing. So congrats to all those schools. We'll find out later where these schools are going to land in the state playoffs. I got Mark Tennis coming on the show around 10:40. Mark comes on every year. He is the editor at Cal High Sports. He does a great job of predicting where everybody in the state's going to go for the state playoffs. How many are? I think there's 15 now. I gotta be honest, that's way too many. The big boys playing in the open division, and I think there's 7 divisions times 2, so 14, so 15. Yeah, I think 15. Too many in my opinion, but oh well, whatever. So Mark's coming on. He'll predict where our Central Section teams are going to land in the state playoffs. I believe it comes out Sunday, the brackets do, with great accuracy. I think Mark's like a 95%er. He knows all the little rules as far as who's playing home, who's playing away. It's not necessarily who's ranked higher. So a lot of fun stuff about that. Continue with the Emmanuel theme. We got the volleyball team that won a state championship. They're coming in. The girls volleyball team, they're coming into first string sports. I think coach is bringing in 4 players. So we're going to hear from a lot of kids from the state champion, our only state champion from the Central Section. The Emmanuel girls are coming in. And then Coach Craig Campbell, the girls basketball coach at Clovis West, is going to be here live at First String Sports. They just returned from Hawaii, ranked 9th in the state to start the season. I always like to bring on Coach Campbell before Christmas break, so today worked out. Excited to hear from him. One more thing before we hit the break. The state cross country championships are happening right now at Woodward Park. Great venue. Those the state championships. Buchanan girls are the top seed in Division 1. We'll see if they bring home a championship. Connor Lott, the star runner from Clovis North, he's defending his championship. He's the top seed as well. So that's going on right now. Cold weather there, but yeah, those kids are tough, man. It's that is quite an event. I haven't been in a few years, but that's a fun event to go to. All right, let's take a break. We're going to hear from Tanvir. We're going to chat it up about last night's Minarets game, a little bit more about the Central Section football season. Fresno State's playing tonight. Kept forgetting that all week. Yeah, they're at San Jose, 7:30. We're going to talk about who's starting at quarterback. Controversy still late in the season. Is it going to be Conklin or Warner? I don't know. We'll chat about that, and we'll see how that goes. You're listening to the Central Valley Sports Report on 1430 ESPN. And here, I think we'll only go for that we were up at Minarets to broadcast the Minarets and Orosi football game, and I was very prepared. I had double layer socks, 6 layers of clothes. I actually didn't put on my final jacket, so we'll count it was only 5. I got my big glass of hot chocolate that lasted. I had my Dan Marino isotoner gloves on. I was very prepared, but I was still cold. I couldn't feel my nose in the fourth quarter. My toes were pretty much frozen as well, but it was a great experience. I hope in my opener that I was able to create a visual for everybody out there. Called it the Fog Game. It might, be known forevermore as the Fog Game, and that's exactly what the Max Preps. It's funny, right? You go to the game tracker on Max Preps if they got one, so you see how the scoring went, and it said, let me scroll up a little bit. It kind of made me laugh. It said weather, foggy. In air quotes, so foggy weather, absolutely. So Tanveer Singh was on the broadcast with us. We had a lot of fun. We kept it light. We provided some good content on the broadcast. I know TV was there as well, so it was well covered. But Tanveer, good job by you, first of all, on the broadcast. That was a lot of fun. But first of all, the Fog Game. I mean, what were your main takeaways from last night's game? But what a great fun experience for everybody.
Yeah, man, we were talking about how this is your first ever Fog game that you've ever done, and I was like, every game that I've ever covered has only been a Fog game because that was my first one, and that was one wild experience for sure. Just the arrangement of the entire stadium, along with what happened in that actual stadium, was quite wild. From the seating, looking like a Mayan temple over there. And then otherwise, I mean, the play on the field was a pretty entertaining game overall with all the fog as well.
Yeah, I agree. And we were 5 feet behind the crowd too, and the cowbells,
Yep.
and everybody's standing, and bringing their lawn chairs and their wagons. It was a really cool experience. As far as the play on the field, I thought that Rossi, they had more than a puncher's chance. They were down 21-14 with the ball, I think around their 10-yard line with about 6.5 minutes left. And, they have primarily a rushing attack. Their passing attack was extremely limited. And this tough sledding when you're trying to score in the fourth quarter on a quick drive. But Rossi, I thought impressed, but Minarets obviously was the better team last night, and they came away with a victory. What was your thoughts as far as the gameplay?
Yeah, as far as the gameplay goes, I think from the Orosi side of things, they definitely went in with the game plan that they were going to run the football as they have done all season, and that's what had led them to the championship game in the first place. So I understand from that perspective. And you saw that they were trying to do some play action passes, some screen passes to kind of differentiate the attack, but it just was not as successful as they would have liked to, and it felt like they got, even though they had to get basically 90 yards down the field in about 6 minutes, it felt like they were not that those type of plays were not available to them because they just didn't think that they were going to be able to complete them. So that was just kind of an unfortunate thing from that perspective. But a valiant effort. They were down 14-0. They drove down the field in the first half at the end of the first half and just weren't able to convert a touchdown. And that could have been a big blow to their psyche, but they were able to come back out of the half, get a big onside kick, and were able to score a touchdown off of that. And unfortunately, they just were not able to stop Wolf and the Minarets Mustangs on the other side of the ball. But a valiant effort from Morosi. From Minaret's side of things, I think it was clean in the first half. I thought they played really good defense, especially in the running game, stopping a lot of those inside zone runs. And Jason De La Cruz is not an easy guy to stop, as we saw in that second half. But it was great for them on the defensive side of the ball. I thought their passing game looked decent, and then the running game really just in that fourth quarter really sealed the game.
Yeah, and you're talking about Torrin Wolf, and he was definitely the best player for Minarets. I know their receiver, Caden Larson, I believe is his name, caught a touchdown pass. He had some speed out there as well. But, yeah, talk about how what an advantage, I guess I should say, a team that has a dual threat type quarterback, a senior quarterback that is also a threat to run the football. And late in that game when they needed first downs, what do, right? They put a fullback, so to speak, in the backfield, and they're just running with their quarterback, and he's a tough kid. Yeah. So when you got an option like that, when you need a first down late in the game, like Minarets was able to do, that certainly is a luxury.
Yeah, and I said at the bottom, basically at the end of the broadcast, I said that he was their most dangerous runner, and he certainly was, and it really showed at the end of the game. When you have that sort of dual threat, you get this strain on the linebackers that have been running all day, and they're forced to really seal those gaps. And it looked like Torrin Wolf was able to get to the second level on way too many occasions at the end of the game because that defense was tired. Especially those linebackers. And, for his play and how he passed the ball, especially in that third quarter, he was able to really seal that game at the end of the game with those runs. Yeah,
absolutely. And I'm definitely going to ask you about the E.J. Warner and Conklin situation for Fresno State in just a second. Yeah. But last night was our final broadcast, and Phil Bonatti did a fantastic job doing play-by-play. And you were able to come to a lot of games and do stats. Last night was your first time on air, which went really well. It was a lot of fun. But what are some of your takeaways from this? I know there's state playoffs yet to come, but from this football season, what are some lasting memories? What are maybe even some cool plays that you were able to witness this year in person?
Yeah, a lot of cool plays over the course of this year. I remember starting this year in Collegian, where Central was playing their first game of the season, and then ending off the D1 AA championship in Collegian again was kind of poetic. Overall, I mean, I had a lot of fun watching Clovis High's offense. They were high-flying. Central's offense was absolutely amazing the two times that I saw them. The game last night was probably the best atmosphere that I've been to. So overall, I mean, I was able to go to a lot of different stadiums, a lot of different teams seen. But, this was a very fun year overall for the football season. And hopefully the basketball season is just as good.
I think it will be. One last thing about last night's game that I made the observation about is just how excited Minarets, the fans were on every tackle. Like, we've been to a lot of games, Tanvir, and I've broadcasted a lot of games over the last 5 years. But, you see some fans at different games that are subdued. Maybe the expectations are higher, like, yeah, you better tackle that guy. I'm not going to celebrate that player. I'm not going to clap, or I'm not going to stand. But that wasn't the case last night for Minarets. Even though, I even saw Jason De La Cruz make some 8-yard runs, but yet the Minarets fans were clapping because they tackled him and he get the first down. It was kind of sweet. It wasn't, I'm not going to say the word innocent, but I don't know. It was just more of like fandom. Like, yeah, we made a good tackle, even though he gained 7 yards. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I definitely feel that when you have a team that hasn't won a championship like they did and were able to complete their goal, they were going to go all out. That whole community was going to go all out for whatever play happened on the field last night. And, yes, the fan, they really showed out. And I was really surprised that many people turned out.
Yeah, very cool. All right, so let's move on to some Fresno State stuff really quick before we hit the break and bring on Mark Tennis. Playing 7:30 at San Jose State. Obviously, last week was another disappointment, right? And because there was a path to a championship game for Fresno State, but it all went out the window with the loss last week. Quarterback controversy late in this year is kind of interesting to talk about. I think a lot of us were surprised when E.J. Warner was on the field and was taking snaps in pregame, like, oh my gosh, I guess they're going with this guy. So what are your thoughts? What do you think is going to happen tonight? Is it the best pick of two choices that aren't really great right now? I mean, how are you framing tonight's game, and what do you think you might be able to see?
Yeah, my expectations have been that EJ is probably going to start this game, and then I would imagine Carson will probably start the bowl game. That's kind of been my sentiment over the last couple of weeks, that how it was going to end up, especially after he started the Utah State game. Me personally, I would personally start Carson. He is the sophomore. He is probably going to be the quarterback next season, unless he transfers. And I personally look at it in that viewpoint of, let's just see if we have something here with Carson Conklin, and what is he going to be able to provide going into next year. I certainly think Carson will start the bowl game, because we still have a bowl game on the horizon. But I do expect EJ to start this game and end his senior year.
So EJ has one more year of eligibility, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Possibly.
I think he does. So yeah, it's just it's kind of
still I think Carson is going to be the long-term solution.
I think
compared
so.
to EJ.
All right. Well, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. So you've watched Deegan Rose throw the football around. Like, you think Deegan might be able to come in next year and claim a starting spot? He's going to enroll early, so he's going to get that upper hand.
Yeah, I think it might be a little bit too much to ask, especially in the first year. But he certainly has the arm talent and the throwing ability to go in and make an impression. I love what I've seen out of Deegan Rose, and I'd love to see him start out of whatever the quarterback room is next year. But yeah, that I would be hard-pressed to believe that Deegan will start next year, but I would love to see him.
All right. It's always fun to speculate. We can do that, right? This is radio. That's the kind of stuff that we like to do. Totally. All right. So, hey, Tanvir, thanks again for producing the show. We got a lot more stuff to talk about the rest of the show. We got a couple more shows as well before we hit winter break, and then basketball is going to be in full force as well. So, hey, good job by you, man. It's been a lot of fun, and keep up the good work.
All right. Thank you. And thanks for the opportunity last night. I had a lot of fun.
Good. Yeah, good job. All right, let's take a break, and we're going to bring on Mark Tennis from Cal High Sports. Where's our Central Section schools going to land in the state playoffs? Now, remember, and Mark's going to clear this up, you're not guaranteed, no matter if you're 12-0 or 13-0 or whatever, you're not necessarily guaranteed a home game despite that sparkling record. So we'll talk to Mark about why that works a certain way and where he predicts our Central Section schools are going to land next week. You're listening to it all on the Central Valley Sports Report on 1430 ESPN. High Sports does a fantastic job. Follow him on X, on social media. The website is a must to subscribe to. The rankings, the state history with all the records. It's man. Sometimes I find myself on the website and I'm checking out records. All of a sudden, it's an hour and a half later, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what a just wealth of knowledge on the website. So, Mark, always great to catch up with you this time of year. I was able to see you one time this year at the Central and Clovis game. But how you doing, my friend? How was your Thanksgiving? Good stuff this year?
It was good stuff. Yeah, the usual stuff. Yeah, all good. We did the run walk in Stockton, and it was pretty fun. And sun is here, and we're ready to go for the holidays.
Yeah, last night's game, we did the Minarets and a Rossi game, and it was a fog bowl. We could literally not see the other side of the field for most of the game. It was a great experience. So yeah, the fog in the Central Valley is definitely still a thing.
Still a thing. Yep. I know they're worried about it for cross country this morning. People traveling up to Fresno for it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's first start, Mark, before you give us your thoughts on where the teams might land from the Central section. The peripherals, right? The ability for state CIF to put the Central section teams up in the north or the south. There's usually I think it's the Bakersfield area that can go down to the south and mostly go up to the north, and then who gets a home game and who doesn't. There's still some confusion on that. So can you just clarify where the CIF stands with a couple of those things?
When it comes to north and south, it's really a numbers game. I mean, there's certain number of teams that have to be in the north and have to be in the south, and to make it fit, the Central section has to have 5 teams in the south and 2 in the north. That's what it was last year. That's what I assume it's going to be this year. None of the sections around the state changed anything in terms of new formats or new divisions or new ways of crowning champions. So it's the same as last year, which makes it a little bit easier for the CIF to go through everything because it's basically the same as last year. A lot of times it changes. A section will have a new way of doing something or a new system, and there really wasn't anything that crazy this time. So that was a good thing. So they have to have 5 and 2. So it's just a matter of which 5 and 2. And historically, the Clovis schools and the Central East, Central before that, they've been in the north, and that's not going to change this time either. They'll be in the north, and then it's what other team is going to be in the north. Last year, I think Kerman was in the north, and this year, Bishop winning last night is kind of an issue because travel with Bishop is such a pain in the butt. With Bishop involved. If you recall, there have been a lot of years Bishop just got a bye and they didn't worry about it. They gave him a bye because they had byes involved. There's no byes involved this year, so Bishop will be on the board somewhere. It's just like I'm not sure whether they'll be in the north. I even checked the weather already, and I'm sure they have. One of the passes is open, but one of them's closed. It's like so. I'm not sure exactly how they're going to deal with Bishop, but Bishop could be in the north, it could be in the south. So that's where it gets kind of complicated, as you can see.
And I remember, yeah, I know, and I think they're used to traveling, so I think they'll be okay being on the road. I think they just want to play football. They're very excited to win the section championship game last night. Again, 69-21 over Woodlake.
Oh,
man,
they blew them out. They did a great job.
Yeah, I didn't think that score was real. It popped up on Max Preps. I'm like, what? 34-0 at halftime. I'm like, geez.
Me neither.
Yeah, that surprised a lot of people. I remember a couple years ago, Mark, when Clovis North had that undefeated team. We're like, oh, of course they're going to host a state, a state playoff game. And nope, you got to go up north, and not only that, but you got to play De La Salle. So what is the rule? So we're thinking Central East because they played at home last year that they're going to go up on the road, right?
It's not for sure.
Ooh.
The reason that's not for sure is because I have them playing Pittsburgh from the North Coast section, and Pittsburgh was at home last year as well. So both of them were home. So I don't know in that scenario which one goes on the road and which one stays at home. What the state generally does is if you are a road team the year before, the following year you get to host. So Folsom, for example, won last night in the Sac Joaquin section. and they're expecting to get a home game, and they probably will because they were on the road at Pittsburgh last year, and they're playing a school, Reardon, which has never been in it before and plays a lot of Saturday afternoon day games. So they're pretty sure they're going to get a home game because they were on the road last year. Well, with Pittsburgh, the next Bay Area team, and then Central East, they were both at home. They were both at home last year. So I'm actually don't know who's going to host and who's going to be on the road if those two are playing each other, which I think they are. So that's where it gets complicated because they both were at home last year.
Well, would it come down to some sort of rankings? Would that be a criteria or not?
I don't know if it would come down to rankings. It may just come down to what section has the most home games in other divisions, and what sections are on the road in other divisions. I think that's probably what it would come down to. It comes down to those kind of factors. It's more of a trade-off. You know, your section got this home game. Well, now our section should get this home game. So I'm not sure exactly what it would come down to. It's hard to know. I wish I'd had a clear answer, but I don't know which one will be home. But I'm pretty sure they're going to play each other, Pittsburgh and Central East in the North for D1A. So.
All right, D1A. So we're hoping it's a home game, man. That'd be good for us around here. So where's De La Salle? And you mentioned Folsom. Like where are they going to land, and what division, and where are they sitting right now? You think?
Well, De La Salle is a 12-0. They beat Pittsburgh last week. And Pittsburgh played them pretty tough. It was a one-score game, but it was their 33rd consecutive section title. They look like they're better than last year when they lost to Mater Dei in the state Open Division final. They've got a lot of good breakaway runners on their offense, and I think they're probably going to be in the Open Division. They're going to play Santa Margarita, which won last night over Corona Centennial 42-7, and that's Carson Palmer's team. The former Heisman Trophy winner took over his alma mater. He's done a phenomenal job. They run it like an NFL team with meetings and position coaches, and the kids are really locked in. And it's a pretty impressive program they got going now at Santa Margarita. They do have 3 losses, but They did roll over. They did have a really big win over Centennial last night at the Rose Bowl. So De La Salle is going to be playing them. And then Folsom won their game last night, and their only loss is a team in Southern California, Mission Viejo. And then Reardon is undefeated in the Bay Area. They're probably next, and Reardon is 12-0. They got a lot of D1 guys. The quarterback going to Vanderbilt, Michael Mitchell Jr. has done a great job for them. So they're probably going to play each other, and they kind of both expect it. Folsom expects they're going to play Reardon. And then the next 2 teams for the North would be Pittsburgh and Central East. So they kind of match up. It's a great matchup. They're both phenomenally, really good receivers on both sides of the field. Multiple receivers you have to worry about. So that's how it kind of shakes out in the North.
All right, so you mentioned Pittsburgh, right? They're going to be a great matchup for Central East for sure. You mentioned the receivers, so that's good to know. And you have watched Central East play this year. What they did against Clovis in both of those games. Put up 70 points through 3 quarters. I know you watched that 2019 team, if I'm not mistaken, with Xavier Worthy. Can you kind of with your own eyeballs and what are both these teams comparative as well? Do how good of a shot do you think Central East has as winning state?
Well, I think they have a decent shot at winning state. The Central team in 2019 won in D1AA. They won in the next highest division, and they beat Sierra Canyon, which was the Southern Section Division II champion. This year's team at Central East defensively is not as good. I probably agree with that. But they're incredibly fun to watch on offense with Brandon Smith and Jelani Dipple.
Dipple, yeah.
And Pittsburgh can move up and down the field. Their problem with De La Salle in that game, they couldn't score. They had 2 missed field goals, and they had a 4th down stop at the 1, so they got 0 points on 3 of their possessions. But they really ball controlled De La Salle with their short passing game, and they have a sophomore quarterback who's really come on in the last month. And I think with him as their starter, they've been really good. They beat Cardinal Newman last night 42-17 to become eligible. They won the North Coast Section Division I title. The way it works in their section, if you lose to De La Salle, you get to drop down and play another game to advance. And the CTS does it that way as well. So Pittsburgh is a really fun team to watch. And one of their players, defensive back Truly Bell, has committed to Fresno State, and he's one of their best players. So he's a player to watch for your local fans. And Bayon Harris from Central East I don't think he's committed yet, but one of the places he may go is Arizona. And Pittsburgh's top receiver is R.J. Mosley, and he is committed to Arizona. And th'ey're both like 6'3", 6'4". They're real tall and lanky and make a lot of great catches. And they could potentially be future teammates at Arizona. We'll see. I don't know what Bayon's going to do, but R.J. Mosley's committed to Arizona, and he's a really good player for Pitt.
And then obviously we could add Brandon Smith because he's committed to Arizona as well. And what a player he is.
That's
and
true.
you know, Mark, I'm going to fight for him to be at the top of your list for your Mr. Cal High Sports football player of the year. I'm going to fight hard for that kid because he's had an amazing career. All right, so Bakersfield Christian most likely going to go down south as well, undefeated. Arroyo Grande, like they're probably going to be they won our D2. They're a coastal school. So where do you see a school, like Bakersfield Christian or Arroyo Grande landing?
Well, Bakersfield Christian would be higher. They're in the higher division in the central section, and they are undefeated. So I've got them in the next division down to AA. Which would be they were lower last year. They were 2A last year, and I have them in 2AA this year. That could change. They could be actually back in 2A. They didn't win. Arroyo Grande I have in 2A, and they could drop down because they have some losses. But I don't know who would move up necessarily, so that gets complicated. Possible matchup would be if Santa Fe Christian of Solana Beach, which one of their assistant coaches is Drew Breeze. That's kind of cool. They're 13-0, and they won their game last night. So a matchup in D2A between Bakersfield Christian and Santa Fe Christian would be kind of interesting because they'd both be undefeated, and that would be kind of interesting if that one happened. I don't have it happening now. I have Bakersfield Christian being a little bit higher. Based on having some, they beat Bakersfield High and to get where they are. They won pretty easily in their division. They might be a little better than last year's team.
So
I have them in D2AA.
Got it. So there might be a matchup with Bakersfield Christian and the team that Drew Brees is an assistant. So you could have the Carr family against Drew Brees in a high school matchup.
That's possible. That is possible.
I love it.
It would not be a wild thing to have them against each other. The travel is, they look at the travel. So, and that's a long haul between a San Diego team and Central Section team. And I'm not sure, Santa Fe Christian's pretty good. I'm not sure if they've beaten a team like some of the couple teams that Bakersfield Christian has beaten. But that's a possibility. That's why I throw it out there. That whole situation would be pretty.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Breed's son plays for Santa Fe Christian, but so that would be kind of cool. But I think Bakersfield Christian's a little higher. They has beaten some higher level teams to get where they are. I think they should be in a higher division. You never know what the CIF's going to do for sure, but. And Bakersfield, losing that game was kind of a bummer because they're, the old school, and all-time winningest, and all that. But credit to AG for beating them in overtime. I just put them right now in the same spot I had BHS in, which is D2A. But they could move up one of the other teams like Ventura if they have a big win tonight. Ventura against Arroyo Grande would be a possible matchup to look for because the travel would be very easy between those two.
Okay.
So there's still some results that are going to come in from today in the southern section. So it's not final because there's still teams out there that have games to win.
We got another minute with Mark Tennis, editor and publisher of Cal High Sports. All right, so I'm an Emmanuel grad. This Eagle team is one of the greatest in school history. 13-0, man. The whooping that they put on the teams in the playoffs is very impressive. I think these guys got a shot at winning a state championship. D4 here, where do you see them?
D4 tier is probably correct. The thing that I looked at with Templeton and with some of the next teams around, and so they're going to be in the South, or not Templeton. Emmanuel will be in the South, I'm pretty sure, unless it's a Bishop situation, they put them in the North. But I think they're in the South, and I have them actually in a matchup with Kennedy, the D3. And they're only a couple spots apart in the computer rankings, Templeton and Kennedy. And not Templeton.
Emmanuel.
I keep saying Templeton. Emmanuel and Kennedy are only a few spots apart in the computer rankings. And so plus, if you look at the next teams in line from Southern California, you have a team from Irvine, which won their game last night, and possibly a team from Central of El Centro. So I just think that there's a possibility that the CIF could match the two Central Section teams together, Kennedy and Emmanuel, play each other in D4AA, and then in D4A, the two more southerly schools would play each other, and that kind of matches the computer rankings, and it's also a possibility. It's just better for travel, to have a team from El Centro go all the way to Reedley, or that's a long haul.
I know, that's right.
So I'm not sure they would. I'm not sure they would do that, and then Kennedy, as I said, and Emmanuel are in the same division. And it's also interesting last night that Grace, which is where Josh Henderson is from, they won the Southern Section title in their division last night. But they're in a lower division, so there's going to be no possibility of Josh Henderson leading Emmanuel against his former school.
All right. Hey, Mark, great stuff. Unfortunately, we're up against the clock. We're a little late going over. But, hey, appreciate you as always. Thanks for jumping on and giving us some great information. Have a great rest of the week, my friend.
Thanks, Paul. Happy Thanksgiving weekend, everybody. Thank you.
All right, it's Mark Tennis. All right, we're going to come back, and we're going to have the Emmanuel girls volleyball team state champs in the house on the Central Valley Sports Report, 1430 ESPN.
Is the Central Valley Sports Report, your #1 source for high school highlights, riveting talk, and hometown heroes. And here is your host, Paul Meadors.
Welcome to hour number 2 of the Central Valley Sports Report on 1430 ESPN. Live here at First String Sports. Thanks to First String Sports for sponsoring the show and hosting it all these years. This is a wonderful community here, and they will definitely take care of you when you buy your Letterman's jacket. They'll help you design it. You put whatever you want on it. So thanks to First String Sports again, as always. If you want to go back and listen to any parts of any show, you can go to 1430ESPNFresno.com under podcasts. Boom. There's a Central Valley Sports Report right there. You can go back and listen to interviews that you missed, past shows. You can cut out the commercials if you want, but we love our sponsors, obviously. We got to give some volleyball love. I mean, we're so football-centric here, right? I feel a little guilty, and we have the only Central Section team that won a state championship. We have the Emmanuel Eagles in the house right now. We know how good their football team is, undefeated, won their section championship game last night at Templeton. But back-to-back championships as well for these young ladies. We have head coach Alyssa Den Hartog on the air right now, actually live here at First String Sports. We got a whole community as well here that's able to drive up. So first of all, we have 4 total players here, so we're gonna do a little rotating system. Who do you have with us right now, Alyssa?
Yeah, thank you for having us,
Yeah.
Paul. I have senior Addison Eford and senior Tori Visser with us first here. And they are so excited.
Yeah, and you know, it's a little nerve-wracking, let's be honest, right, when you come on the radio. But like I tell everybody, it goes by quickly, right, and we're just having a conversation. So first of all, Thanksgiving, right? I mean, Thanksgiving, a good opportunity. Like, you guys have a big Thanksgiving. Like, what's that look like for you? First,
Yeah,
Alyssa.
I got together with my extended family. We had about 40 people at our Thanksgiving, so it was packed and super fun.
Is that usually how it is for you?
Yeah.
Big crowd?
Pretty traditionally.
Are you guys paper plate people, or are you guys nice dishes people?
For sure,
What are
paper
you?
plates. That's too many dishes for my aunts to do. So we do paper plates, and they go in the trash.
It's like a
after.
buffet.
Make it easier, yeah.
So
and
you
everyone
just
brings
grab a plate.
something. Yep.
All right.
Tons of food, delicious. Ate way too much.
And leftovers for days.
Well, I didn't get any because I didn't bring any.
Oh,
but it's okay. That's on me.
All right, that is on you. Do you do sandwiches later? Or do you like eat at 2 or something,
yeah,
or is it just?
We eat a little late lunch, and then that sets us up for like 3 days.
Okay,
right?
Good stuff, good stuff. All right, how about for you girls? What's Thanksgiving look like? Big family gathering, a little bit of football here. What's that look like for you?
Yeah, I have family Thanksgiving on both sides of my family, and I had one like the weekend before and then one on Thanksgiving.
Oh,
and it
nice.
was not too big, but still fun to be
So-
with my family.
So you didn't have to go to one in the morning and then leave at 2 and then go to
No.
the other one.
Yes,
That'd be
thankfully
too
we
much.
spread it out. Yeah.
That's good stuff. What about for you?
Yeah, same as her. I have one the weekend before and then one on Thanksgiving with my family.
Was it a little bit sweeter knowing that you were state champions? Did you guys get to brag? I mean, what did that look like at
Definitely.
Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Yeah, lots of questions about like how the season went and like how I felt about winning, and yeah, so it's fun.
All right, so let's get into the road for you guys to that state championship. Like it's been a week, right? It was today's Saturday. It was last Saturday, right? It's been a week. So, Coach, how about for you? Like, you know, you won last year, right? And we'll get into that a little bit. But like, what's been your prevailing thought this entire week after you guys won again?
I mean, it's a busy week right after a couple of us went to Disneyland. You have Thanksgiving, you have Black Friday. So I think what I shared with somebody is it's a really special moment, but it is fleeting, and then it keeps coming back up, right? Like, we go to Thanksgiving, and I have uncles reminding us and encouraging. We get to come here and be congratulated. So it's a special moment, but I think it's also been a sweet reminder, like as we reflect on our faith at Emmanuel, of the importance of having our priority and our identity in something that is more lasting. Because as awesome as this state championship is, it does kind of just hit a moment and fly by and then comes back up, but it leaves again. And so it's been a sweet, again, just reminder of the importance of identity that lasts beyond the awesomeness of the state championship.
That's great. That's great. And do you feel yourself, though, to use a Thanksgiving term, I guess, hungry for more? Is that it? Or just like you're just basking in the sweet aroma of what you guys were able to accomplish? It's like, how do you look at it more like that?
I think it's been sweet to rest here after a long and busy and exciting season. And I'll look forward to next season always, but it has been fun to get to enjoy, especially with this senior group. Just the success that we've gotten to experience.
Yeah. Is that how you guys feel, girls, about it? Like it's a great moment, but your faith is rooted in something more. I mean, win or lose,
For sure.
right? Win or lose, you're going to be the same person most likely. So how are you guys able to frame winning that state championship?
Yeah, I think it's obviously fun, especially senior year, to like win. I think last year after winning, I was like, oh, so fun to win my junior year, and like this anything extra will be so sweet. And so I think, like it was a sweet way to end senior year and just, with my friends.
All right, so final point is one. How did you guys celebrate? You guys are on the court. I want to make sure. Were you guys on the court?
We
okay,
were,
you're on the court.
She got
Good
the block,
stuff.
actually.
You got the
She
final
won
block.
us.
All right, so why don't we start with you? Like, what, like, who did you go hug first? Did you drop to the ground? What did you do in that final point?
I think I just looked at my team and I was just like so excited, and it was so fun to see all the girls like running off the bench to like storm the court, and then we were just all hugging each other and just celebrating. It was just such a fun moment with the whole team.
What about for you? What do you remember about that moment? Or who did you go hug first?
I remember looking at her because she like won us the point, and then we hugged for a little bit, and then our whole team came, and we were all just like so excited together.
Is it like, do you blank out in those moments? Is it like
A
things
little bit,
seem a little surreal?
Yeah, it's kind of just like hard to believe that it actually happens. Like it takes a little while for it to actually hit you. Like, oh, we won the state title, you know.
Coach, what about for you? What do you do? Are you just like looking at the girls celebrate? Are you high-fiving? Are you jumping around? What's your celebration like?
I do a backflip.
Yeah,
and
do it all.
no, I celebrate with them, clap for them, and usually give my assistant coaches some props and congratulate them as well. And then we go and proceed to congratulate the other team and pray and thank God for the success and victory.
And have a fun ride home.
Exactly. Like I said, a couple of us went to Disneyland, so it's the classic.
Straight from there.
Where are you going?
All right, where was the state championship at
It was
again?
down in Orange at Santiago Canyon College.
And we're all, I mean, how many, was it a 2-day deal?
Yeah, two
So
games
all the
Friday,
state championship,
3
yeah.
or 4 on Saturday, yeah.
Okay. Your road to the state championship, you guys were the 3 seed, if I'm not mistaken, in NorCal. You beat Ripon Christian,
We
right?
did.
They were the
Tough
top
one.
seed. So your road, was it, kind of as expected? Like, which were the toughest matches? Kind of walk us through your road to the championship.
Yeah, this year was that state bracket was a lot tougher than last year's. Expected. It was a division higher. One thing that was super interesting was we ended up playing Bear River again in the regional semis. We had played them last year in Division 5 in the same round and gone to their place and beat them. And so we had to go there again, and they were a really tough team, tough environment, but super fun to play in. And so we beat them, had to go play Ripon Christian. They were huge and really good. That was a scrappy battle, but we pulled it out. So it was a tough road, a lot tougher than last year, but that made it more rewarding too. Even the championship game this year they were a lot better team than the team that we played last year in the finals, and so again it was just a lot more rewarding to get to beat a good team and play tough and have to play a lot harder. Makes it more worth it.
Well, it's up a division. It better be harder, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very rewarding. All right, girls, for you, what are some of your lasting memories from this year? Again, your senior year, you still got a lot of school left, right? You're going to have graduation and all that stuff coming up. But what are some lasting great memories you're going to take with you from your volleyball time at Emmanuel?
I would say this year getting to go to Hawaii as a team was really sweet, and just we were so lucky to be able to go. It was such a blessing. And we didn't play super great. Like, we didn't do a lot of winning, so it was kind of like hard to come back from that, but it was still so sweet to just like be in Hawaii. Like, it was so fun.
Coach give you some good time off? Were you able to see the sights?
Yeah.
Was it just enough? Like,
Yeah.
you guys were satisfied? The volleyball
Yes.
part didn't go as well.
Yes.
Right? I saw the scores.
Yes.
I looked at it.
Yeah.
But, however, like, great experience.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome.
So fun. Yeah.
Awesome. What about for you?
Yeah,
Lasting
I would
memories?
say Hawaii too. It was just really good bonding for the beginning of the season, and also to just go through like some trials at the beginning and then being able to like overcome them through the rest of the season. So yeah, that was a really good bonding experience, and just like the team was just so sweet, and it was such a sweet environment and so fun to like have a team that is more like fellowship and sisterhood rather than just teammates.
Yeah.
Great answers. You guys talk like seniors. Man, like you had a full high school experience, 2 state championships and all that good stuff. All right, see, your time is up. We're going to have to rotate, get the other 2 girls on. So we'll do that. I got another question a couple questions for Coach. So, yeah, just have the girls come over here and sit, and we'll introduce them. Coach, I want to ask you about your road to the championship, but it didn't start obviously when state playoffs started. It started in the summer and all the workouts and that schedule that you put together, right? That's impressive. You go to Max Preps. I think you guys lost 8 of the first 9.
Yes.
True, but you guys scheduled up.
8 and 1, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
To start. Yeah.
Like what was your reasoning behind what you played? Clovis East, Sanger. Who am I missing here? Bakersfield Christian, obviously CVC. How did that schedule that you put together and some of those games that didn't go your way score-wise, how did that prepare you for what you guys were able to accomplish this season?
Great question. And yeah, the schedule I get to have a big part in, so it's something that I try to be super intentional about building. I think I've said a couple times I'd rather lose to a good team than beat a bad team, because I think it makes us better to play good teams and to play up even if we end up losing. And a couple of those games, San Joaquin, Clovis East, Sanger, we went 5 with them, played them really well. So we're competing at that level, and that's encouraging. And again, we want to play those good teams to make us the best we can be. I think the other thing that it does is it teaches us mentally and emotionally how to endure trial and hard things and still stay steady and confident through it, because we've lost. We've been there. We've done it, right? Where you go in sometimes, if you win everything and then all of a sudden run into a hard situation, you maybe can't respond as confidently. But I was really proud of my girls, especially in the end of the season, and when we're playing Bear River and Ripon and losing tough games, and they're getting big kills, and they have a lot of energy on their side and momentum, and we don't get as rattled there. And so I was really proud of how they responded, and I think that is evidence of an emotional and mental growth over the season.
Well, especially those state playoff games when you're going on the road and you're playing Ripon Christian, and they got some big girls, and you get a tough environment, all those
or
things
even
matter.
our central section going up to Mammoth, and that was a really mentally hard trip, because you've got the elevation and the time and just a lot of factors that add to the challenge. But again, they remained really steady and confident, and I was proud of them.
All right, this is my commentary here. How are you guys not the number 1 seed? You guys got to go to Mammoth. That's probably a different issue we don't want to spend a lot of time on. All right, let's celebrate the good stuff.
We could talk about that.
I know. Maybe off air. All right, so who do we have to your left right now?
So now we have Aubrey Turman and Spencer Horn, also both seniors and great young ladies as well.
Awesome. So, all right, I'm going to ask the same question and ask the other two. Some of your lasting memories. You know what? Let's go with the state championship deal, because that's always a fun thing. Last year compared to this year, right? Sometimes the comparison game isn't really fair, but like winning 2 titles, like what did you learn maybe winning it your junior year that you were able to carry on for your senior year? Like what did that look like, the experience of it all?
I feel like we definitely had more of we knew what we were going into, the fact that you walk through the doors and I feel like other teams probably felt a little nervous, whoa, we're in a college. And then this year we just walked in, we're we've been here before, so let's go to our NorCal room and let's go get hype and get ready. But I still feel like we handled our maturity as a team this year really well, not getting overexcited with the fact that we've already been here before, and I feel like we handled ourselves really well, just taking a higher step up in maturity this year.
The highs and lows of volleyball are interesting. In my limited experience coaching volleyball, I don't know how you guys do it, right? The runs in games are it's 19-13. We're sitting kind of pretty. All of a sudden it's 19-17, then 19-18, and the pressure. I got to be honest, it's kind of a different beast, right? The mental part of that, right?
It's a big momentum game for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's get back to winning state championships and all that good stuff. So, lasting memories or the experience from winning last year to winning this year too.
I think coming into this year, it was so much more fun, to have that run again, to be able to say we were defending our title, we got to win state again, we got it last year, and to be in a different division too, that was cool. It's last year we were in Division 5, to get moved up, we were this is going to be harder, but to still be able to
prove that we could do it again, and it wasn't just like a one-time thing. Like, we did it again, and yeah, so it was so much more fun. But both of them were obviously good.
Was there a point when you guys thought, hey, we could really win this thing? Like, I don't know, is there a part in the state, like, hey, again, we're moving up a division? Was there maybe a moment or a certain part in a certain game where you guys like, I think we got a really good chance at winning this whole thing?
Yeah, I think definitely a big game for us was Bear River was our regional semis game, because that game just had so many more components on it. We played them last year. They were a very tough team last year, still a great team this year. And I didn't have any doubt that we wouldn't win, but it was still like, I feel like once we won that game, like, we got it. Like, that was a huge win for our team. And I think, like, just to carry that momentum on to then regionals and then state, because those are like the big games. Like, everyone wants to get to regionals and then get to state. So definitely to make it past that game was a huge point for us. But, yeah.
You agree? Like, was there about the same time, or is there a different moment for you?
I feel like Bear River was definitely a big one. I mean, last year we lost to Fresno Christian at Valleys, and so I feel like it was a big energy boost, and it was like, we're going to state again. So Mammoth was definitely a big area where, like, we definitely got a confidence boost, I'd say, to, like, encourage us that, oh yeah, like, we can do state. Like, we got Valley now too, which felt awesome. And so I feel like we were, like, really just feeling powerful after that moment. And then Bear River, we had faced them before, so I feel like after we got past Bear River, it was like, this is like really our strive and our energy, and like, we're gonna do this.
We got about another 5 minutes here with the Emmanuel State Championship volleyball team. Coach, when you hear the girls talk about maybe a moment they thought, hey, we could really win this thing, or you know, the celebrations, like, what you feel like a proud mama? Like what's
So
going
proud,
through what's
yes.
going through your mind when you hear these young ladies talk about their experience?
Absolutely, especially looking at our 4 seniors here. There's one who couldn't make it, but knowing that group of seniors in particular, they've led so well, and they talked about the culture of their team being one that was a sisterhood and not just a team, and that's been so dependent on these seniors especially, and the way that they've invested in their teammates and invested in the program, and the heart that they've shown for each other and for their school. They're just the best of the best, and I couldn't be more proud of them, and that's what I want, like, my program to represent. And as we travel, we talked about traveling to all these other places and interacting with a lot of different people, and that this gets to be the experience that people have with Emmanuel, and ultimately with Christ, which is we talked about, like, we wear Emmanuel, which means God with us, right? And so we're representing him wherever we go. And so this, like, I couldn't be more proud of what these girls have done and shared with our valley and our state, and the impact they've left. Yeah, I'm so proud.
Awesome.
Couldn't be more proud.
What year is this for you?
This is my 4th year.
Fourth year.
So these are my seniors. That was my
follow-up.
senior year too.
That's what I thought. All right, so 4 years ago you take over the program. Like, what did you have certain goals in mind? Like, hey, by year 2, I want to be this good. By year 3, I maybe want to win a Central Section championship. But how about year 3 and 4? You won state titles. Was that even part of your agenda?
No, never even on my radar. And then it happened last year. And I was like, whoa, how did we get here? This is cool. So, yeah, it's definitely opened up a different expectation and goal for me. But I think it's been sweet to just kind of go one game at a time and one moment at a time, one camp, one practice, right? You talked about workouts over summer. We've just built a lot, or I feel like I've been able to help build a lot in the program out there. And but, yeah, I don't know that I went into it thinking we'd win 2 state titles in a row, so that's pretty cool.
Very cool. Are some of the other schools up, you know, say the Fresno Clovis area, some of these schools, are they kind of taking notice of, like, what's going on down there at Emmanuel? Or should we invite them to some of our tournaments? I don't know if we want them beating us.
I mean, I hope they keep scheduling us, because it's good for us, right?
It is very good.
Yeah, we've been able to have good relationship, I think, and I'm from Clovis. That helps connect us to some of those big bears and stuff.
And really quick, and we got a couple minutes. I definitely want to hear about the rings. I want to know about ring design and all that stuff. That's going to be the final question.
Specialty.
So Rhonda DeRuiter, coach at Clovis West, you guys, right, were able to be there and support. And she's a graduate of Emmanuel, class of '93 as well. Graduated with my brother and Ryan Tosta, commissioner of the league. So that class is a pretty special class from Emmanuel. So, like, the relationship with that, and you guys were able to watch them and they were able to support you. correct?
We
What did that look like?
went and watched them. They had to leave sadly before our game, but we
Okay.
did go and watch them and cheer them on. That was fun.
They lost, what, 3-1 they lost? What was
They
their
lost
game?
3-0. Every
3-0.
championship game was in 3.
And you got swept. Yeah, you got swept too,
crazy.
huh?
Yeah.
Good for you. All right. So let's get into the ring design. Did you bring last year's rings? I didn't ask you
should've.
to.
didn't,
I
but
thought
they were
about it.
really pretty.
All right. Pretty rings. What's the design this year? How, you guys are going to go different? What's that going to look like?
Us seniors haven't really talked about it yet, but
Bring on the bling.
yeah, bring on the bling, definitely. I definitely want our Bible verse to be a very big thing, and that's playing with joy, and James 1:2-4, like just counting it all joy through all of our trials that we've been through this year, and I just feel like our ring should really reflect our season of the fact that we just counted it all joy throughout all of our trials. So
Good stuff.
I'm hoping they downsize a little so we can wear it more. Last year's is real big.
Right? They're more of a display thing now. They're so
I
big,
know.
these rings. Like,
Yeah.
you got to put them in display because they don't fit on people's hands
Can't
anymore.
wear them normal life.
No, you got to wear those things. All right. Hey, good stuff, man. Thank you guys for coming on, Alyssa. We were able to meet last year, and I said, hey, you win. I felt bad because you weren't able to come on last year. We didn't work it out, and I said, if you win a state championship again, we'll bring you on, and here you go.
A man of his word. Thanks, Paul.
Well, you're a woman of your word as well. So thanks for coming on. Thanks to you girls for coming on, making the drive. I didn't ask you where. Obviously, Emmanuel's from different parts. Where are you guys all? Reedley? Where are we at here?
No, Tori over there is from Riverdale, California. Me and Addison are both from Kingsburg, and Spencer's from Sanger.
Oh,
so they all got
Kingsburg.
to drive in.
All right. Good stuff. All right, so thanks, Tori, Spencer, Aubrey, Addison, and, of course, Alyssa for coming on. Emmanuel girls, state champions once again. Thanks. Have a great rest of the week. And
You
good
too.
Christmas.
You too.
Thank you.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, we'll take a break. We got Coach Craig Campbell from Clovis West girls coming on. I don't know if he's here or we're going to have to do a phone call. So we'll figure all that out. But love talking to Coach Campbell. Basketball season is here, guys. You're listening to it all on the Central Valley Sports Report, 1430 ESPN. Yeah, that was just great to hear from the girls from Emmanuel Volleyball, moving up from last year's state championship as far as division goes and winning it again. Got good stuff, very grounded. That's kind of what Emmanuel does, man. I'm a proud alum. I've shared that more than once on the show, and yeah, just always great to hear about the successes on the court, but off the court as well. Speaking of on the court and off the court, I got one of my favorite interviewees, one of my good friends, Coach Craig Campbell from the Clovis West girls basketball program, straight from practice, wearing his Dallas gear, of course, Nike stuff through and through. What are we at? 13 straight Central Section championships. Drive for number 14 this season. 5-0. Just came back from Hawaii. The Emmanuel girls actually took a Hawaii trip as well. So Hawaii seems to be a popular trip to go to. It's a cool deal. These girls, I think, every other year you're able to go?
About every 2 to 3 years we've been invited, so it's been pretty cool.
All right, Thanksgiving. Good Thanksgiving. Obviously, with the Dallas Cowboys winning their football game, good Thanksgiving, correct?
They've ruined a lot over the years, and so it was nice to finally, especially one that I thought was going to be ruined.
Right?
I didn't think we had much of a chance, and for them to win, that always makes the family happy when Cowboys win because Dad's in a better mood.
Which win surprised you most? Probably last week's win, right? The Philadelphia win than this one?
The Chiefs surprised me more.
Really?
Because week one, I thought we should have beaten Philly. I think we match up well with them, and then we've gotten healthier and had some acquisitions, so we're better. The Chiefs one, I just didn't know if we could stop Mahomes.
It was good to see him stopped.
Yeah.
It felt really
and
good.
really, you take away that first opening pick and score that set the tone. I mean, we really shut them down most of the game.
I agree. All right, I'm curious. I think every time you come on around this time, we either talk about Christmas or Thanksgiving stuff. Curious about your thought. Now everyone's transitioning to the Christmas themes, right? Because Thanksgiving is over. When you hear like Christmas songs, going to Target or whatever before Thanksgiving, you're seeing the stuff at Costco. Are you okay with that before Thanksgiving Christmas stuff?
Not at all. Not at all. You got to finish Thanksgiving. The day after is fair game.
Yes.
But you're skipping a holiday of gratitude
for commercialism.
For commercialism and indulgence. So no, I've never. But it's the same thing. I mean, I love Halloween, but then I see costumes in July at Costco or something, and you're like, come on, it's too early.
Or the Halloween spirit stores pop up.
Yeah.
Right. They take over the CVSs that are that are empty.
Let me finish summer, in my swimming pool, and then we'll get into. Well, at least let football start before we start seeing ghosts and goblins.
Yeah. Right. I agree. Okay. All right. So we're on the same page with that too. All right. So Hawaii trip, right?
Yes.
Like it went pretty well for you guys. I think it was a different tournament that you guys have been in the past. Is there a few of them?
So there's two premier ones now. There's always been one, the Iolani Classic, which is the Nike invite only. You have to be a Nike Elite High School to even get invited. And we've gone to that, I think 6 times since 2010, 5 or 6. And then this one is She Got Game runs a great event in Washington, D.C. and also in Dallas. And we went 4 years ago to D.C., had a great experience, and they started an inaugural North Shore Classic this year. And they invited 6 mainland teams. We were one of the only 6 invited, the only one from California. So right away we're like, heck yeah, let's do it. It was tough because it's 3 weeks earlier. Normally you head over to Hawaii with about 7-8 games, a lot more practices. So we were green for the competition. North Crowley's very, very good. They were number 3 in Texas at the time coming in. And then Millennium's one of the teams to beat in Arizona. And so we knew we were going to have our hands full. I literally thought we were going to come back 3-2. I thought we'd probably hopefully compete in those 2, but they probably were too big. And I mean, they were some big mamas. They really tested us. And game 1, we won by 1. We showed some toughness that we haven't shown yet.
That was against the Texas team?
Against the Texas team, yeah. They had 6'3", 6 foot, a couple other Division I guards. We had a chance to open it up early. Sydney Swillis was still playing volleyball, so we didn't even have her yet. And then Ramey, McKenna, and Jocelyn all got 4 fouls in the third quarter. And so we were in dire straits, and Riley Schoonover just took over the game. Absolutely dominated their 6'3" Division I post. Had 22 points, 12 rebounds. And then we were down 6 still with 2 minutes to go and rallied 1 by 1. Ramey Chapman hit the free throw to wrap it up. Then we actually flew Sydney in on Sunday.
She played on Saturday.
Played on Saturday.
Oh my God!
We actually had to buy an extra ticket for our freshman coach to chaperone her to get her there. So there's a big chunk of change, but it was that important for us to get Sydney there. And Sydney, right from the get-go, Millennium kind of jumped on us right out the chute, and Sydney checked in and instantly was making plays. Couple steals, couple assists, a putback, and just really kind of gave us some comfort, some length. And then we ended up having a great third quarter, blew that game open by 17. And then the third one was just a showcase. We played a lower-end Hawaii team, which was good for us because some kids hadn't gotten in the first 2 games. So we were able to play 13 kids both halves and get a lot of playing time. So, we saw some good signs. We saw where we grew a little bit. We saw some areas we still need to grow. But I didn't think we'd be 5-0 at this point because, we lost 7 seniors. 4 of them were scholarship kids. Everybody wants more minutes, more shots. But we're in the transition to understand that also means more responsibility. And so you don't get to just stand out there and shoot and play a lot. You now have to guard the best player. You have to execute better. You have to be a second or primary ball handler. You have to guard the other team's best player. Like all the responsibilities that come with, what Riley, Keegan, Alexis, those kids did for us. So we're in that transition stage. We're starting to finally open their eyes to it's not just more minutes, it's more responsibility.
When Sydney, I don't know, whoever met her at the airport and brought her back, when she saw her teammates, like what was the response? Like, you made it, like, all right.
Everybody, yeah, we were actually, it was pretty cool. We went on a hike through, I think it's Waima Botanical Garden, and at the very end there's a waterfall you can jump in and swim and stuff. And so she met us there. So as we finished this hike and came back, she was back there waiting for us. And everybody was like, Sydney! And, I mean, she's just such a great kid and great teammate. Everybody was excited to get her back as a friend and as a teammate.
Absolutely. All right, so talk a little bit more about some of the girls you're going to really be relying on this year. You mentioned, the 3 that graduated last year, Keegan and Alexis and Riley. Yes.
Yeah. Jordan.
And Jordan, yeah, big members of the team in the last 4 years. Who's stepping up this year? Who do you really need to step up?
Well, obviously, Ramey and Milani were the other 2 starters that are back, and so they're expected to have big years. Both grew their game this summer. Milani ended up with a full-ride scholarship commitment to Cal State Bakersfield, and then Ramey really blew her game up this summer. She ended up being second team all EYBL at Nike Nationals, which there was only 5 kids per team, so that's putting her out of roughly 320 kids in the 16s division. That put her in the top 10.
Top 10.
Yeah. Wow. So, I mean, that really, she played well, team played well. You get the notoriety, to the victors, go the spoils. And so that blew up her recruiting. So she's not just a year older, she's really grown her game. And then Riley Schoonover blew up this summer, really, really grew her game. She had 222 point in our 2 closest games. She's had 22 and 12 and 1 and 22 and 20 in the other. And then Jocelyn Martinez just picked up a scholarship offer from Fresno Pacific. She was our 6th man last year. She and her sister, I call her linebackers. They're just tougher than heck kids that just run through a wall for you. Love coaching those 2. And then our 5th starter right now has actually been a surprise, but not. Zion Williams is finally healthy. Made the varsity as a freshman, was injured her entire sophomore year. Played some this summer, and she's come in and really performed. She's had double figures in 3 out of 5 games. She's got some playground to her. We joke she's got grown man strength. I mean, she's strong enough to play on the football team, and she's just a strong kid. So she's been a surprise, but we've known it's been in her. But she's brought it out faster and caught it faster than we anticipated. And then obviously Sydney Swillis and McKenna Curry, getting those 2 as sophomores now with a year of varsity experience, are going to be big contributors. So, we're starting to develop our depth. The kids that are new to varsity, it always takes them some time. It's a culture shock, but they're starting to get their feet wet and starting to kind of get some confidence and figure some stuff out. So we're looking forward to that.
All right, so schedule-wise, that's next week. That's one of the reasons why I want to get you on the show, because I know next week, right? Next weekend you're going to be pretty busy?
Yes, our
your
21st annual Nike Central Valley Showdown. Yep.
All right, what's that look like? Starts on Friday? Is it a 3-day
Starts on
deal?
Thursday, Friday, and most teams play 2 on Saturday.
2 on Saturday. Okay. Competition-wise, who you bringing in for that?
So we have Bishop O'Dowd, who's always a very strong team out of the Bay Area. Oak Ridge, who's always very good out of the Sac Joaquin section. Carondelet, the Division I state champ, is coming. Locally, we have Clovis and us and Carruthers. And we actually have Winter Haven out of Florida, one of the top teams out of Florida, flying all the way and actually bringing their drum line with them.
What?
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, so pretty cool. They're going to be bringing their drum line, and should be a fun. But there's going to be some really good high power caliber teams. Got a team coming from Oregon. But those are probably most of the top end ones. And then we got some college coaches coming in as usual. So it'll be a great test early and some really good basketball that just if you're a fan of basketball, you should want to come and check out.
Is there going to be food available, Coach?
There's always, if I'm around, there's always food available.
Huh? You know me, right? I like to hang around these Clovis West tournaments, and what's on the menu? What's on the menu? Oh, Paul, you want a plate? Sure. If I have to. All right, good stuff. Yeah, I'm excited for that. Right, so challenges this year, right? Again, season's still early. You got a lot of really good basketball that's going to be played, a lot of high-level competition, 5-0 so far. Expectations, all that stuff. Like, what do you think the biggest challenge for this year's team is going to be? Like, we're going to have another conversation, right, in January, right? Bring you back on, and we'll talk about where the team's at. Like, right now, what do you see the biggest challenge? What do you want to work on most as a team?
You know, we just need to continue. Our principles aren't second nature yet, and so the kids, when we lost so much experience, and this is about the 6th time in 21 years we've gone through losing a big senior core, and everybody's saying Clovis West is done.
How are they going to do it?
Yeah, they're done now, and we always know we have. My thing for 21 years has been we don't rebuild, we reload, and we have kids on our bench that were developing that previous year, and then we come out and they're ready to go now. And so, the Sydneys and the McKennas of the world, that was Ramey and Milani the last 2 years, that they're now ready. And so getting those principles when they haven't been in big game experiences yet. Riley Schoonover is dominating right now, but she hasn't been in a lot of big moments for us yet. And so as she gets seasoned through December through some big games, relying on that. Jocelyn we can count on. Sydney and McKenna, same thing, getting that big game experience, but then making sure the girl next to you is doing their job. They're learning to do their job, my job, but then I got to make sure you're doing your job. And so when we start getting that lateral leadership where they're holding one another accountable, doing their job but holding the girl next to them accountable, and playing for each other, and it's just when the wheels stop turning and everything becomes second nature, we're not there yet. We're a long ways from there, but that's when we'll finally. And talking to them today, everybody loves to win, but I need kids that hate to lose. And I don't need a team full. If I can get 2 to 3 kids that flip and hate to lose, we're going to be really, really good. And so trying to bring that out in them daily in practice and the mental toughness. I mean, it's a grind. And it's playing in Clovis West, it's different. The expectation, the pressure that the kids have to continue to uphold what's happened before them. And, we're not going to win it every single year, but we should be in the hunt every year. But those kids play in a different level of pressure than most kids typically do, and so they're trying to live up to that, and their skill might not be there yet, or their retention might not be there yet, or their experience might not be there yet. So just molding all of those things throughout December, and then growing together as a team. They like each other, but trying to get them. You're on a trip, and all of a sudden you see the same 3 or 4 best friends together, and making them. That's why we make them room with different kids and riding vans with different kids, and so the travel will allow for some additional bonding and comfort in developing that chemistry.
That's what makes Clovis West work. That's it's one of the secret sauces. One of many. And you and I have, I think maybe the 8th time you've been on the show, and we've had many discussions throughout the years. Here's a topic though that I don't think we've really discussed very much, and that's transfers. I'm just curious where you're at with transfers, and we've seen it at the college level, right? You can't watch a college basketball game or football game right now without somebody mentioning, a broadcaster mentioning somebody's name and then saying he is a whatever transfer, right? I mean, that's just kind of the name of the game right now in college athletics. And we've seen it trickle down now. We've seen that kind of mentality with the high school ranks. Down south, it's absolutely nuts what goes down down south with basketball and football, a little bit with baseball too. But where do you stand with that? Right, I mean, you got kids from Kasner, but I mean, you've been the beneficiary, let's be honest, of some transfers as well. But I mean, where do you stand with transfers? What does that mean to you and your program, and where do you see it in the central section?
You know, I think starting with the college level, the transfer portal and the NIL, you know, they're different, but they're similar in they've erased adversity. Kids don't have to go through adversity anymore. You don't like it, transfer. You don't like it, somebody's going to pay you more to go somewhere else or pay you equal to go somewhere else. And so there's a lot of I've heard coaches say they're afraid to hold kids accountable.
Yeah, they're scared to coach them hard, basically.
And for me, when I can't hold kids accountable and when I can't teach and hold to what I believe in and have spent 32 years teaching, I just won't coach anymore. If we get to that point where you hold someone accountable so they're going to jump ship, you know, then you didn't belong here anyway. There's always kids that are looking for a better situation, good kids in a bad situation, and so they want something better. You know, and it's hard to fault people for that. I think when people are being recruited, misled, swayed, that's a whole different ball of wax, and that's what's happened at the college level. You know, there's people, somebody enters the portal and then they commit the next day. Well, how did you commit when you're not supposed to have had any discussions prior to entering the portal? But clearly there was, whether it's, you know, going through a club coach or going through a trainer or whatever, 7-on-7 coach, whatever it is. So I think the ethics of it, you know, is it a family making a decision for what's best for their son or daughter, or is it people orchestrating it behind the scenes? But, you know, we've had transfers that have come in. We've lost a kid or two over the years. You know, finding the right fit, I guess, is. But, you know, there's still something to be said for earning it. You know, whether that's when you walk in the door, even if you're a transfer or somebody who's been in the program, you should still have to earn it. Nothing should be given to them, and they're being bought off at the college level, and you know, I don't like where it's headed. We've lost the realignment we've lost the natural rivalries. Now we're blowing up our leagues next year. There's not going to be a track anymore. We're not going to. You know, it's like where's all those natural rivalries that, you know, you're playing within your district or the people down the street, or depending on how the success has gone the last few years. So it's just there's so many parts to what I've grown up loving about sports as an athlete and as a coach and a fan that are now disappearing.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the right fit thing is just an interesting concept. I see the pros and cons for that, right? Like for me, you know, I've talked about this before. You know, I did go to Emmanuel High School. I did go to private. I definitely wasn't recruited for anything, right? It just happened that a bunch of guys from different towns. I mean, with guys from Layton, guys from Selma, guys from Kingsburg. We just all happened to be part of this pretty special class of basketball players when I arrived at Emmanuel. Nothing was planned, right? And we created a special bond. I mean, we got a text thread group still with my guys from high school, right? Yeah. It's a special bond that we were able to create. And there's a lot to be said about that. There's also a lot to be said for the guys, and you know, let's just throw out Kingsburg. You know, the guys that grow up together and they play with each other in their feeder programs, whatever sport, right? It doesn't matter what sport. And they go through high school together and they win together. There's a lot to be said for that as well. You know, maybe get a transfer in as well, or two that will help your team win games. But the sense of community, I guess that's one of the things, Craig, that concerns me. Right, I'm looking at a Sanger Letterman's jacket. I want kids that are born in Sanger, raised in Sanger, to stay at Sanger. That's me, right? I want kids. I'm going to look to my right here. I want the kids that live in the Hoover district to play together. I want them to have success at Hoover, whatever school that they're in. That's just me personally. That's my thought. But you see it. Hey, maybe I could go to this school and ring chase, right? Maybe I could go here and get a little more exposure for D1. There's something to be said for that a little bit as well. Like, where do you stand on something like that?
Well, it is tough because, I mean, let's say you have a son and he's a stud quarterback, and your football program that you are raised in is horrendous. Are you going to keep him there and just let it play out and whatever happens, or, you know, or did somebody come and say, hey, Paul, you should bring your kid over to such and such? You know, then that's a different ball of wax, in my opinion. You know, you as a dad making the decision that's best for your kid versus somebody influencing you. But, you know, there are kids in those situations that their aspirations is to play college sports, earn a scholarship, play on a big stage, and their current situation doesn't.
They're stuck.
They're stuck,
yeah.
or doesn't allow for that. And so, it's hard to say, tell somebody what they should do for their kid.
Yes.
And in a perfect world, everybody has those opportunities, but it's not a perfect world. I mean, within the Valley, there's powerhouses in every sport, and it's not the same school.
Correct. Yes. All right, one quick example before we move on to a couple other fun things. We always have a couple fun topics. You just think of, again, Emmanuel High School, what they've been able to do in football this season. You think of 3 years ago what San Joaquin Memorial in football was able to do. They were building upon, that team with Brandon Ramirez as a senior. They lost to Liberty. At that time in 2022, Emmanuel was like 2-8, right? And then they bring in this new coach. Back then, could you ever imagine, an Emmanuel would be kind of on the same level as San Joaquin? If those two teams played this year, I'm thinking out loud, I think Emmanuel would win that football game. But 3 years ago, no way in heck could you have thought that Emmanuel could have even competed at the same level. That's just, that's some example of parity, and then another program just rising up and doing the right things and winning championships. That's what Emmanuel was able to do.
But nowadays, if you rise up, then your reward is you get pushed up more divisions,
right?
Instead of being able to continue to.
Yeah. And we only have 2 more minutes of the show, so we can't go there right now. Next time, right? We can go there. All right. So, your most underrated NBA player of all time is who? Underrated. I know you're a huge Jordan guy. Underrated, a guy that doesn't get much credit for either winning championships. We've got a minute and a half here. How are we going to do this?
Man, you didn't prep me for this.
I didn't. I did not send you this question. I mean, Scottie Pippen, for what he did, if he was on another team, he'd be a 2010 guy.
Yeah, but
right?
He was a top 50 all-time
all-timer.
NBA guy.
Still all-timer.
Probably somebody that was just unbelievable that probably never got the credit they deserved as a player was Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf.
Oh, my gosh. Chris Jackson, the former Chris Jackson. Yeah.
I mean, Steph before Steph.
What? Yeah, Google and watch his YouTube from LSU.
I mean, he was
blow you away.
A bucket.
Yes.
And even, I know his highlights are still out there today, but what Jason Williams did, White Chocolate was silly good.
Yeah. He never won championships, obviously, but he was a human highlight.
Man, you turned the TV on to watch him.
Absolutely. Dominique Wilkins, right? I literally said human highlight film.
Yes.
Real.
One of my all-time favorites.
I know you would defend this till you die, but he did he win the dunk contest against Jordan? Come on, Craig. I'm putting you on the spot.
It was. I mean, it should have had to go another round. I'll put it that way. They should have had to push to overtime.
All right, we'll leave it at there. Hey, we got more stuff to talk about next time you come on. So, all right, always great to see you, Coach Campbell. Thanks for coming in after your practice. See you next week, starting Thursday, right?
Thursday. Yep.
What time is your game?
We
6?
are 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Yeah,
Thursday?
Games start at 4 o'clock and go till 10 o'clock. Both gyms.
Okay.
Lots of talent, lots of good basketball.
Right. Good stuff. All right. Have a good Christmas.
All right. You as well.
I'll see you.
We'll see you next week. I'll feed you next week.
Yes. I can't wait. All right. Thanks to Tanvir for producing the show. Mark Tennis from Cal High Sports did a great job. Go back and listen to that if you missed it, predicting where our Central Section teams are going to be. Thanks to Emmanuel Girls Volleyball and Coach Craig Campbell. We'll talk to you guys next week. Have a great weekend.
We started like